Wild is now in theaters, and this is a movie about a sled dog who travels in the Yukon and dealing with the struggles of said Yukon. This is a movie that's based on a book, which I have not read. It is also the latest adaptation. I have not watched any of the other adaptations. I hadn't even seen the trailer for this movie, to be honest, because of the negative connotations with said trailer with the CGI dog. I just avoided the trailer altogether because I was like, I'm gonna probably watch this movie because of the director. It's same director that did the first How to Train Your Dragon, so I just went into it open. And I will say this. It's not bad. Just saying it right now. It's not bad. I think the cast elevates the material a lot. So Harrison Ford's in this movie. He's really good. Dan Stevens is snarling as the villain. A little over the top, but it's Dan Stevens. He's quite entertaining in that role. Karen Gillan's also in the movie for a little bit. The same with Bradley Whitford. You don't even really notice them other until you look at the cast and you're like, oh, they were in this movie. Interesting. Which is why I put them in the cast. But the cast is fine. I also liked the cinematography. The thing is with the movie, yes, you can kind of tell that some of it is, on a soundstage. And I don't mean like, oh, you can literally see in the soundstage background. No, no, no. It's just that a lot of it, because they use CGI for so much of it, like with the dogs and everything, you almost kind of start to think in the back of your mind, like, oh, this was probably on a soundstage and not actually the Yukon. And that doesn't detract from the fact that it's still beautiful. I mean, it is a beautiful looking movie, I'd say, for the most part. And there was a good establishment of, different kind of shots utilized that I really liked. The pacing is also fine. It goes by really fast, which is really good for a family friendly movie. There are some sequences of action that, are kind of intense, especially for, the genre and the rating. But again, there are a lot of flaws in this movie. I'll get right off the bat. As much as I enjoyed some of this movie, especially the scenes with Harrison Ford in it, the problems I have with it are kind of important. So the first thing I want to say this, I'll address the elephant in the room. So yes, there's a controversy with the lead dog being CGI. To address that, I think that sometimes it's fine. Sometimes you forget the fact that it's a CGI dog just because you are invested in what's going on. But then there are other times where it is quite noticeable, just because of how odd it looks. And that's the thing with this movie. I feel like with the visual effects, it's hit or miss. There's some times where the visual effects look very jarringly beautiful, and then other times it looks eh. It almost feels like it's two different companies that were doing the special effects. And I don't know, that's kind of problematic when, in the grand scheme of things, especially in terms of aging. Because movies with special effects, they have to age well. If they don't age well with the visual effects, probably is not going to be viewed in the same light as people watching for the first time in said generation all those years later. And I feel like Call of the Wild is one of those movies where it's going to suffer because of that, because it's hit or miss. But it's not just that that's kind of problematic. This movie follows a lot of cliches of family-friendly movies. And I get it. The book came out over 100 years ago, so I'm sure if the movie took a lot from the book, then it's like, oh, well, it's taking from something over 100 years ago. So I get it. But there's also some cliches that feel very 2020 in terms of like, oh, this is a 2020 trope where it's like characters do things just to get them from point A to B and not actually make sense. Or characters just leave the story randomly and it's like, okay, that's odd. And I don't know. To me, that's just kind of jarring when I'm enjoying some of the movie, and then there are other parts like the ones I'm describing that just feel kind of out there. That feel as though it wasn't completed. And I feel like that's the best way to describe this movie. I don't feel like it was fully completed. I feel like that there were some things that they probably could have brushed up on a little bit to make it like fully polished, to make it like a passable movie. But as it stands right now, I mean, I have to say I'm in the middle of the road with this movie, and I didn't think I'd be conflicted with this. I thought it would be in either okay, it's an enjoyable experience, or it's a terrible experience the way a lot of people are saying. But that's the thing. I'm in the middle ground because there is a lot of this movie that's just middle of the road. Nothing really standing out, but also nothing really saying it's bad. So that's why I call it Wild. I'm conflicted. I think it does have its positives, and I think that if you are a young kid, definitely watch this movie. If you're a parent on the fence about the movie, give it a chance. What's the worst that can happen? And the Call of the Wild for me personally, I'm going to give it a 2.5 and a 5-star rating. So yeah, no hot sauce rating. So that's what I'm saying. I'm conflicted with this movie. But yeah, guys, Call of the Wild. What did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And what's your favorite adaptation of Call of the Wild? And have you read the book? Comment section down below. And as always, don't forget subscription, notification bell, and I'll catch you guys later.